Today is Monday, August 26th, and I'm just wondering, and I'll bet you are too, how the Cowboys are looking less than 2 weeks before kickoff for their first game.
In 1993, Bob opened the original Bob's Steak and Chop House on Lemon Avenue. 32 years later, the original Bob still greets you at the original Bob's. And now his sparkling new Bob's at Craig Ranch has opened in McKinney. Same fantastic beef and fresh seafood at these two Bob's, each run by the Bob's Steak and Chop House.
And now a word from our title sponsor.
Are all financial advisors fiduciaries? Fewer than you think. Not knowing could reduce your lifestyle. Hi, I'm Mitch Kramer, founder and CEO of Fluent Financial. A fiduciary is a regulatory term to reduce conflicts of interest in wealth management. A fiduciary always works in your best interest. A non-fiduciary advisor might put their compensation or company ahead of yours. At Fluent Financial, we are certified financial planners acting as fiduciary advisors. To learn more, go to fluentfinancial.com or Fluent Financial's YouTube channel.
Star Power Smart Home Solutions, where cutting-edge technology meets effortless living. Control your entire home with just a tap on your smartphone. Adjust the lights, set the perfect temperature, and ensure your home is secure, all from the palm of your hand. Star Power has the experts that will transform your house into a secure, smart home. Experience the ultimate solution in comfort and security for your family. Get started at GetStarPower.com. Star Power, where innovation meets home.
Mary and I are Crest Cadillac people. For what, about 15 years now?
That's about right. Crest Cadillac XT4. Perfect size, perfect ride for us.
Crest Cadillac at 121 on the Tollway in Frisco now has terrific offers on the Cadillac Lyrique and the soon-to-be-available all-electric Escalade. GM Mike Brusen's team is fantastic to work with. So join Mary and me as
Crest Cadillac people.
Before you get to the Cowboys, it's football season. The big-time college football starts this week and the pros next season. Do you wager on football? For the last 40 years, I've been handicapping college and pro football on the radio, putting up my picks with poll. For years with the Sports Network on TV in Canada, doing the same. And for years with ESPN handicapping games. If you'd like my picks this year, it's easy to get, easy to sign up. Here's the website you go to, justwonderingpodcast.com/picks. I'll repeat that, justwonderingpodcast.com/picks. The price? A very inexpensive $125. And if you sign up, then every Friday of the football season, by email, the picks will be delivered to you by noon Friday Central Time. Okay, now we get to the Cowboys. What to make of this team that has won 12 regular season games 3 years in a row, but also failed in the playoffs 3 years in a row? Well, first, the bad news. First team All-Pro cornerback Deron Bland will miss 6 to 8 weeks because of a stress fracture in his foot that required surgery. Bland last year had 9 interceptions, 5 of them returned for touchdowns, which is an all-time NFL record. Now, the Cowboys at this point will have to elevate 5th-round rookie draft pick Kalen Carson to start. But realize there are some veterans still out on the street. Xavier Howard, Adoree Jackson, J.C. Jackson, that the Cowboys might find very interesting all of a sudden. But we'll get back to the cornerback position again in just a few moments. The situation of this year's Cowboy team is a lot like that of cornerback. It's muddled now. There's so many muddled positions, and it makes evaluating them a mystery, and maybe to Cowboy fans and analysts, a bit of a worry. Okay, let's go positional area by positional area. Let's start on offense. Last year's solid Hall of Fame bound left tackle Tyron Smith, who was healthy all year, is gone. In his place, Tyler Smith. In college, the Oklahoma rookie, drafted number 1 by the Cowboys, started only 14 total games, and exactly one of them left tackle. At center, replacing the very solid and steady Tyler Biadasz, who went to Washington, the Cowboys will insert third-round draft pick Connor Beebe. This may be one of the best picks in the Cowboys for the last couple of years. He looks like a player. But now, let's get back to the tackle situation. Behind the rookie Guyton and the right tackle Terrence Steele, who did not have a good year last year, the Cowboys have what's his name? With Chuma Edoga, the veteran, gone for a long time because he needed toe surgery, the Cowboys have it back up at the tackle spots. No one who's ever started an NFL game in his career. Steele and Guyton better stay healthy. At wide receiver, where have you heard this before? CeeDee Lamb's still holding out. There's only 13 days till the start of the Cowboys season, and you keep thinking this contract is going to get done. But then, that's what we've been thinking for months and months and months now. At wide receiver, stop me if you've heard this one before on this show. CeeDee Lamb, the star wide receiver, is still holding out, wanting a new contract. And it's now 13 days till the start of the Cowboys season, and he hasn't been to OTAs or training camp. Now, you keep thinking this is going to get done. But then, that's what we were thinking months and months and months and months ago. At the key number 3 wide receiver job is Jalen Tolbert. He was a number 3 pick 2 years ago. He has yet to prove he's ready for this critical job on offense. And the number 4 wide receiver, if you don't count Devontae Turpin, who's pretty much of a gadget player, the number 4 wide receiver is Jalen Brooks. And he was a 7th-round draft pick last year who recorded 6 catches in the 7 games he was active for. At running back, well, that's a mess. We've talked of that before. Number 1, shaky. Number 2, shaky. Will they add someone? Well, why haven't they already? But it's on defense that the Cowboys situation gets even more murky. First, of course, it's a new defense designed by Mike Zimmer, replacing Dan Quinn. First, let's look at last year's Quinn defense and who's gone. Well, counting Bland, the 2 starting cornerbacks from last year are now gone, Bland and Stephen Gilmore. But they do get back Trayvon Diggs. But Gilmore was a good, make no mistake about it, he was a good last year. Now, who gets the starting job? As we said, it's the number 5 draft pick, Kalen Carson, now a starter. He went to Wake Forest. And first up after that, backing up the cornerback positions, is 2023 6th-round pick Eric Scott, who never set foot on the field last year. Next, let's go to safety. Now, this is a pretty solid, deep position. But it should be pointed out that starter Jaron Kearse has gone to free agency, which leaves a little bit of a hole that the depth must fill. At linebacker, Zimmer likes to use 3 linebackers. Micah Parsons, obviously one of them. Leighton Vander Esch had to retire, sadly, because of injuries. He didn't play last year, but stepping into the middle linebacker position is 32-year-old Eric Kendricks, the only free agent the Cowboys signed this offseason. The other spot will go to last year's third-round pick, DeMarvion Overshown, who was hurt and never played it down in the regular season. And the number one backup at linebacker becomes the number 3 pick this year, Marist Leofa. And obviously, that's another raw kid being asked to be ready. Well, if you get the impression there are lots and lots on lots of kids being depended upon, well, let's get to the position in the greatest flux. Yes, greater than any of the others, the defensive line. Let's go to last year first. Starter defensive end, Dorrance Armstrong, gone to free agency to Washington, and he was good, 8.5 sacks. The defensive tackle that lined up next to him, Jonathan Hankins, he's gone to free agency. The defensive end that backed up Armstrong and was to step into the starter's role this year, Sam Williams, blew out a knee, gone for the year. The defensive end that backed up both Armstrong and Williams and was used in pass rush situations, Dante Fowler, also gone to free agency to Washington. And though it didn't mean a lot, the defensive tackle Neville Gallimore has gone to free agency also. So what does it look like now? Well, starting at the end where Armstrong started last year and Williams backed up, will be Marshawn Nealand, the number 2 pick in this draft. He was drafted to spend a year behind DeMarcus Lawrence at the other defensive end, learning the NFL. Now, he's a starter, and you got to know he's noted more as a run stuffer than a pass rusher. And next to him, at the key defensive tackle spot, will be Mozzie Smith. Number 1 pick last year, a colossal bust last year. The backups, well, the Cowboys have added lots of guys who are standing on NFL street corners with hand-lettered signs that read, "Will work for the minimum." If the last 2 years' drafts, last year and this year, actually were terrific, the Cowboys will be solid. But you must understand, right now, there are 4 rookies starting here. 3 totally untested rookies from last year starting here. And 4 more kids, draft picks, who have little or no experience playing critical backup roles. It's hard to depend on that many kids and think you're going to be a terrific football team. But we'll find out. And oh yes, by the way, in the last exhibition game of the season, the Cowboys lost 26-19 to the LA Chargers.
Today's episode brought to you by Fluent Financial, Retire Sooner, Better Lifestyle, by Star Power, Love Where You Live, and by Bob's Steak and Chop House.
Thanks for joining us on today's episode of Just Wondering. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, hit follow, and then every weekday, a fresh new episode will be delivered right to you. And should you know other people who might enjoy it, please share it with friends. The executive producer and sometimes on-air talent of Just Wondering is my wife, Mary Danz. The producer is Mike Matern. The technical director is IndyCar Tim Hand from FanStream Sports. We really appreciate your being with us. This is fun to do, and I hope it's fun for you too. And realize that every day I'll be just wondering about something.
And I'm Mary Hitchkus, and I'm just wondering too.